Hey guys, Dave the software dev here, and this is my first video, and I'm going to talk a little bit about jQuery. One thing that I've had to deal with quite a bit with jQuery is checkboxes, and I usually find myself having to go and look up some documentation on what functions to call and how to interact with those checkboxes. So I wrote this little demonstration here to kind of put several ideas together within one video on these things. So the page is actually very simple. Here's the body of my page. I've got a little button here which is to add a checkbox to a list, and next to that button I've got another button which starts out saying select all, so to basically check all the boxes that are currently on the screen. And then down at the very end, I've got a button which I intend to investigate the values of the checkboxes that are on the screen with, and basically just alert to the user which ones are checked. Now in the middle here, I've got a little div where I'm actually going to be adding the checkboxes as the user clicks the button. So let's take a look at some of the jQuery that I've got to sort of fill this out. So on the document ready function, on the button add ID, which will correspond to this guy, I've got a click function which basically runs a selector for all of the existing checkboxes, gets the length of that array that's returned, and adds one. So if I don't have any checkboxes on the screen yet, my first ID is going to be checkbox 1. The next time you click, it'll be checkbox 2, etc. I then basically just run an append function on the selector for the div boxes, which will add a new checkbox with some of these values here. One important thing that I'm setting is the class equal to checkbox. That's so that I can quickly select all of the checkboxes at the same time. So I just append that HTML inside of a paragraph tag so that they'll be nicely spaced out. Setting it the ID to box plus whatever my ID number is, so it'll be box 1, box 2, box 3, etc. And then for the text that displays next to the checkbox, it says checkbox space and then the ID. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that. I've got the page open here. There's the three buttons we discussed. I can add these boxes here just by clicking in there. So that's running that add function. So let's take a look at what happens when we click the selected button. Basically, I start a string of blank, and then for each of the checkbox class objects that have the checked attribute, I'm going to append to that string the value of that checkbox, which will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., and then a new line, and I'm going to alert the results out. So I'll go ahead and click that button. Right now we don't have anything checked. If I check 2, 4, 10, check those guys, you get the 2, 4, 10. If I add more, 14, there you go. So the last function is my select and deselect all button. So I called it button all, and on the click function of that, I basically just inspect the text value of it. And if it says select all, which is the default, then I'm going to select all the checkbox classed objects, which, since we set the class to checkbox, that'll pull all of our checkboxes, and then I add the checked attribute to them. I then change the text of that button to deselect all, so that the next time that button is clicked, this if will fail, and it will go down to the else. One thing that's important here, I'm sure you already know, is that this, in this case, will refer to the button that was clicked, because that's how the jQuery dis object operates. So in my else, obviously it doesn't say select all, so I just, for all of the checkboxes, I remove that checked attribute, and then I change the text of the button to select all, so the next time the button is clicked, this if will run true. So I'm going to just do that. Select all, everything's selected. Then deselect all, deselect all, etc. So there's our results. I hope this helps you out. Maybe this can be sort of your go-to for dealing with checkboxes with jQuery. Remember to like and favorite this video if it helped you out. And I'm Dave, the Software Dev.